end up being a really long stream. I don't know. I don't actually know how long the game is. But I'm gonna be playing a Mortician's Tale tonight, which should be fun. Let me see if I can get the game up here. I hope you'll be able to see it now. Let me know if the volume's too high or if it's just fine. I have email. Is that me? I look cute. From Matthew Jeffrey to Charlie. Welcome, Charlie. Nice to meet you. My name's Matthew, and I'm mainly going to be the man who delivers the bodies to you and help you with some of the heavy lifting. Ever hear that joke about a hearse driver? I'll tell it to you when I come by in a bit. Looking forward to working together. I think you'll enjoy working here. Amy's a sweetheart, but she runs a tight ship. Nothing you can't handle, I'm sure. She wouldn't have hired you otherwise. Cheers and good luck. Funeral director, Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. From Amy Rose to Rose and Daughters staff, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our new funeral director, Charlotte, or Charlie, as she told me she likes to be referred to. Charlie is a recent graduate who came highly recommended and is eager to begin her career here with us at Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. Please take the time to make Charlie feel at home within our little family. We'll have a nice catered lunch this afternoon so we can all get to know each other a little better as well. Alright, and then there's the instructions. While you're new here, so it's probably best to explain where everything is. In your office/prep room, you'll find your cremation station, cremolator station, embalming station, and obviously, since you're reading this email, your desk and computer area. I know you have experience working with these stations, but please let me know if you have any questions. I have so many. Oh my god, that's a long email. I guess my subject lines to you should start being more professional now that we are business professionals. I can't wait to get your reply so I can see your fancy new email signature. I love that you were able to land this gig straight after graduating. It sounds super cool. Yeah, you know, cremating people. I didn't even know mom and pop funeral homes were a thing until guess it's just not something I really think that much about. No, you're right about that. I should look more into this, learn more about your world and industry, because as I said, you are now a very serious professional. Indeed. That's why I'm laughing at funeral homes. Speaking of being a professional, my museum gig is amazing. I can't believe somebody paid me to move to London, not London, ON, serial killer capital of Canada, to work in a museum. Like, take that, everyone who said I couldn't get a job with an art history degree. I'll tell you more about it when we Skype. My stories require you to see my face and that you hear my excellent British accent impersonation. Ooh. Also signed you up for a funeral's monthly newsletter. Consider it your graduation gift / I love you / I am super proud of you gift. Love you, love you, love you, Jen L. Museum curator, London Pathology Museum. Today's tasks. Reply with an auto response. Ooh. Hope you settled in okay so far. Matthew should have dropped off your first body for you to work on. He said you were really friendly and is glad to have someone young and lively to work with. You'll get used to his sense of humor. Your first body is Mrs. Garcia, an elderly woman who died suddenly of a heart attack. The family has asked for a closed casket funeral, so no embalming or body preparation is necessary. The family seems a little bit more united than previous families we've dealt with. Strange how grief affects people differently. Perhaps having more time to say goodbye makes things a bit easier, if that's possible. That being said, although you'll not be embalming Mrs. Garcia, I do think it's important to take the time to clean her body. No one is going to see her body, but I like to encourage my funeral directors to do this out of respect for the deceased and their loved ones. You'll find Mrs. Garcia in the prep room. Talk soon. Dear Mia, of course we will happily oblige your request for no embalming and for a closed casket. Oh, okay, so this is the storyline. We happen to be with Rose and Daughters for my mother's funeral. We understand that there are usually procedures that must be followed in these situations, but if you could kindly not embalm my mother, that would be greatly appreciated. and we will proceed with a closed casket for the service. I just know she wouldn't have wanted her death to have any negative impact on the environment, and since she fought so hard to beat her heart disease and to live healthily, it would be a shame to have her final moments be a counter to the way she lives. Okay. And then tips for... oh. Thanks for subbing. Each month we bring you a newsletter featuring a topic pertaining to the death industry. This month is all about good etiquette for attending a funeral. I've attended a couple of funerals. I really can't believe we have to write this one out, but since we said we'll answer your most popular questions, here we are, because this is definitely one of the most popular questions. Funerals are a hard time, and we understand that. But there are some quick and easy rules to remember for being respectful at a funeral. Generally, following the guidelines of don't be a jerk should work. Number 1, don't be on your cell phone. We understand you're busy, but this is a time and a place to disengage. If you have to be on your cell phone, don't do so inside a funeral home. Number 2, don't be loud and obnoxious. You can share happy stories, but other people are also grieving and are working through their own healing process. Being quiet gives other people space they might need. Number 3, don't get drunk. Everyone can deal with their feelings in their own ways. Just remember to be respectful when with the grieving family and friends. Happily reminisce is number 4. Sometimes remembering happy moments and positive experiences with the deceased can be a productive part of the healing process. Number 5. Give condolences. It's not easy knowing what to say to someone, but even a simple "I'm thinking of you" can go a long way. Number 6. Dress appropriately. What this looks like will change based on the customs of the deceased and their culture, but always dress in a way that shows respect to the deceased and their grieving family. For the funeral of a friend of mine, I once wore a t-shirt with like cupcakes on it because she was a very positive person, and I didn't want to wear black. I was also the only one who brought like sunflowers instead of roses to put on the casket because she's very cute, and sunflowers are very bright, and I don't know, I just didn't want to put like heavy roses on her casket when she was so young. Number 8, give a gift or sign the registration book. This can be flowers or a nice card, but it's the thought that counts here. Sometimes this can even be just cooking dinner for the grieving family. Anything that shows you care and want to help them through the healing process is what matters here. Be kind and be helpful. Okay, so we are to prep that woman. This is the prep room where you prepare bodies for burials and viewings because the family is requested. Hello, a closed casket ceremony with no embalming. You are just going to clean the body. Click on the sponge and drag it to the body to clean it. That's cotton balls. That's the sponge. This feels morbid. Ta-da! That's it, you're done. Mrs. Garcia will be sent to Mike, who will take care of dressing and putting her in the casket. It's time to go to Mrs. Garcia's funeral. You are responsible for taking care of the deceased body, but it is also important to pay your respects to their loved ones. Follow the arrow to head to the funeral parlor. I mean, it's a game about dead people. What did you... I mean, I've played games with dead people that were, like, you know, disturbing. Oh, the funeral is just a place in the next room. I'm so sorry, people. I just washed your mother. She would have hated these paintings. She was so particular. Yeah, at least she doesn't have to see them, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Hello, how are you doing? I hate wearing pantyhose. My legs are so itchy, but it's also cold in these funeral homes. I think I might actually miss those sweaters she used to knit for me now. That's sad. You look like a small child. Mommy, I'm hungry. When can we go? Mood. There's food over there. Yeah, I heard the family specifically said no embalming. I thought it was mandatory, like required by law, but I guess not. Embalming weirds me out though. Do those chemicals leach into the ground? Seems strange to be using a chemical that is known to cause cancer and putting it into the ground like that. Or into the sewer. That's why they must do with the leftover formaldehyde, right? Just pour it down the drain. At least embalming guarantees you won't be buried alive. Stop it, don't make me laugh right now. I always thought I wanted to be cremated when I died. We usually don't small talk a lot at these things, at least that's what I was always thought. Okay, let's have a look at the casket. That's a fancy casket. It's gold. There we go. I have paid my respects. I'm going back into my I'm going to have an interesting time watching this. Yeah, I was actually thinking of you when I saw this game. It's like you used to do all of this, didn't you, Zibby? From Jennifer Valentine. I am so frustrated right now. Okay, so let me explain this in a bit more detail. A colleague and I were discussing the tight laser liver specimen we have here at the museum. The what? It's from a woman who died in 1907, and the liver is tapered inwards from what the doctor leading the autopsy believed was too tight lacing on her corset. It's fascinating because it's kind of a controversial topic. Tight lacing was super popular, and while people associated it with fainting or hysteria, sigh, it's actually been associated with a word I can't pronounce, visceroptosis, which is when the organs fall to the lower part of the abdomen, which is super unsettling, but could also be caused by being pregnant, so... Too long didn't read. Corsets probably messed up some bones, but likely didn't do this kind of internal organ damage. And I'm tired of the condescension about my wardrobe that also implies that I don't know what I'm doing. I can't talk. These are the kinds of things I specifically research, and yet I am treated like I know nothing about it. I'm having a day, Charlie. Oh, more. Can I just rant for a second? I'm so tired of hearing strangers, colleagues, anybody cough, male colleagues cough, get on my case for wearing corsets. I wear them under my blazer and over a nice blouse, so it's not like I'm dressing inappropriately. Even though dress codes are sexist BS anyways. And like, I hate how their misogyny gets veiled in faux concern. Jen, I'm just worried you're damaging your body. You know what corsets do to livers, right? Corsets don't do anything to livers. They're definitely not hurting me as much as your condescension is hurting my head. Sorry, I'm out of sorts right now. I'll send you another email in a little bit when I've cooled off a bit. Okay. Just passing this message along, thanks for the hard work. Please pass along our deepest thanks to you and your staff for the wonderful job they did with our mother's funeral. It was really lovely. Oh, good. Our family so rarely gets together. It was nice seeing everyone come out for such a beautiful service. My son never gets to see his family. Also, it was incredibly kind of you to let us bring our own food in. Getting to share home-cooked meals, sharing stories, being there together, it meant a lot. So what I'm saying, it was nice for everyone to be there like that, together in that way. And I know how much of that was due to the work of your staff, especially your funeral director. Hey, all I did was wash your mom. Thank you for making this difficult time easier for all of us. Hey there, Charlie. Why are you talking so much, Matthew? I was driving around the other day, you know, taking our clients on their last trip around town, and I'm sorry, but... Alright, he's the funeral driver. But it's like... Are you just driving around with corpses in your car? Did I ever tell you the first time I went to a funeral? I was a teenager about to start university, and a friend of mine was killed in a car accident, totally out of the blue. Really tragic stuff, messed me up and my friends up real good. But so, the big day, we all got into our best suits and dresses and packed ourselves into a few cars. There were a lot of us, so we had at least 3 different cars full of us, like clown cars, you know. While we're in the procession, going to the cemetery, somebody in our car got a phone call from a friend in a different car. Turns out some asshat driver who doesn't know how to not get in the way of a procession drove through the intersection and smashed straight into our friend's car. Nobody was hurt, thank God, but can you imagine getting that call? Anyways, one of my friends in the same car as me, the one who got the phone call, hung up and started laughing. Just laughing her ass off in that way that makes you not sure if they're really just crying or if they've gone fully off the deep end. And she laughed and then we all started giggling because, like, go figure, life is messed up sometimes, you know. There's no moral, no point to that story, I guess. I just remember that story and want to tell you, because we work with death all the time and I still sometimes get caught off guard by what it actually means. Oh, before you get any ideas, that has nothing to do with why I became a funeral director. That decision came totally later and it's nothing unremarkable. Somebody has to do it and I have a strong stomach, so why not? I'll see you in a bit, Charlie. What to wear when you're attending a funeral from a different culture? Ooh, We all know everyone wants to be respectful at funerals. Don't talk too loudly, be kind, smile, and refrain from making inappropriate jokes, at least around the grieving family. Hey, sometimes some people do need a little bit of a pick-me-up during such hard times. Who are we to judge? I mean, you all have a very lovely skull for your picture there. And a big part of that is knowing what to wear. Roman Catholic funerals tend to lean more to the formal black attire rule, and it works for us. Did you know this goes back to the days of the Roman Empire, where people would wear black as a symbol for mourning? Black isn't universally the symbol for mourning though, and if you're attending the funeral that is from a culture that is not your own, it's important to understand this. Some colors have different meanings, and despite your best intentions, the wrong choice could mean accidental offense. For example, in Hinduism and in Chinese cultures, white is a typical color for funerals. I knew that. For Islam though, it's less about the color you're wearing and more about how modestly you're dressed. Refrain from wearing any elaborate jewelry and be respectful of your behavior. For Sikh funerals, color of the clothing isn't as important as is dressing modestly and being able to appropriately sit cross-legged. I would be fucked then, because I can't really sit cross-legged anymore without getting like leg cramps. Actually, being respectful is just the #1 rule for any funeral, no matter what really. Remember that, and please don't hesitate to ask what is and isn't appropriate to wear. If you are attending to support a friend, family member or partner, the day is not about you, so be sure to do whatever you can to be as respectful and supportive as possible. Even if that means not wearing what you're used to wearing at a funeral. Or even if it just means asking there's some not entirely spell checked here, how you can appropriately show your respect. Alright, let's head on to the next job from Amy Rose. Here are the instructions for your next body. You did a remarkable job in the first one, thank you, all I did was clean it. The family was very happy with you. No small feat, of course, pleasing a grieving family isn't exactly the most comfortable of jobs. Your next job is a man named Mr. Duval, an elderly man died of old age. Nothing fancy, just a standard funeral with embalming. You can reach out to his daughter Lizzie Duval if you have any questions. She's handling her father's passing as well as can be expected. As always, don't hesitate to ask me any questions. P.S. Charlie dear, please remember to wear proper embalming gear. Formaldehyde is extremely dangerous. I know I don't need to tell you, but my maternal instincts are hard to ignore. I promise I won't mother you too much. Well, just a little. Ask Matthew, he knows. I like her. She seems nice. Oh, look at that, they have a website. Oh, Jesus, at a funeral is fucking expensive. Direct cremation with no ceremony or reception. That's the way I'm going, $600. I didn't know funerals were that pricey. When my mom goes, I'll have trouble paying for that. Oh, I'm wearing my embalming gear. Traditional burials typically require embalming, which preserves the body and prevents it from decomposing as quickly. Unless the family requests otherwise, all traditional burials will use embalming. Let's start by cleaning the body. Off we go. I feel like he needs a shave as well. Click. Ah, yes, I called it. Where is it? Razor. Bleh. I'm glad it's sort of artsy and not like... Oh, okay. I thought I had to start doing some rubbing and motions now, and it's to break rigor mortis. The eyeballs deflate once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag an eye cap into each eye socket to give it shape. Ooh. Ooh. To keep the eyes shut, you'll need to glue them. Okay, well, that I knew. That's lotion. There's glue. Click and drag the cue. Ooh. The mouth sags and hollows once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag a cotton ball into the mouth to give... Yeah, To keep the mouth from opening, you'll need to suture it shut. How will it open? The man is dead. Where was it? There's the needle. He's dead. He's not gonna do any more talking. I have decided. I just really want to be cremated, I think. Ooh. That's some hell of a noise. Embalming involves removing blood and replacing it with preserving chemicals. Click and drag the scalpel over the neck to make it well, you're going to need a tube for draining the blood. I may be sort of grateful I never became a mortician. Click on the cannula and drag it into the carotid artery. This is how you get the preserving chemicals into the bloodstream. Connect the embalming machine to the cannula. Grab some additional tubing and drag it to the cannula. Click on the button and go. I'll have to massage him now. Get in. Haha. You'd think it'd start looking paler once all the blood was pulled out of it. This is a deeply disturbing game. Cannula. What? Oh, cannula. I'm sorry, are you mocking my my pronunciations of the English language? Shall I say it in Norwegian instead? Kanyle. Sew him up again. Pay no attention to the man underneath the clothes. You'll need to drain the organs of any remaining fluids. Look, I hear that word 101 times every time I go in a hospital. Listen, I can't pronounce anything in English. Ew, that's nasty. I just stabbed the man. And you're done. Mike will take care of Mr. Duval's makeup as well as dressing and putting on. Well, I want to do the makeup. I want to make him pretty, not just make him, you know, bloodless. It's okay, he's dead. Let's talk to some people. Came out of nowhere. I mean, it's always sort of does, doesn't it? Yeah, 1 minute you're laughing and fun, and then the next poof, that person is gone. Just like gone. Yeah, it's weird to think about for too long. Like staring at the sun. I start to feel a little fuzzy when I think about it. So weird how our bodies just stop working like that. Yeah. Yeah, one day that'll be us. It's so strange to see most people wearing white. White? Yeah, I think it's different for different family members. I can't remember. I haven't gone to many traditional funerals. Mostly white, but like definitely not red, no matter what. Yeah, don't wear red to funerals. He always wanted to take his grandkids to the park, play catch. He loved playing catch. He threw a mean curveball, that's for sure. Humming to himself. My recollection, if you want to hear that, with embalming is that the color becomes a bit more natural, not grey. That makes sense, I suppose. You mean like neutral or like pale, white? December 2nd, 10:22 AM. We got email. Yeah, more like skin color of a person that is alive. Oh, well, I suppose that makes sense. From Amy Rose. Today is a funeral for a woman who died from breast cancer. Nothing fancy, just a standard cremation. Please don't hesitate to ask me. Okay. Passing on this lovely thank you note. Hi Amy, thank you for the wonderful evening you and your staff put together for my father's funeral. He wasn't always an easy man to get along with, but I'm glad to have seen him off in such a kind way. Thank you, Lizzie. You're welcome, Lizzie. From Jen. Meet cutes for death. Meet cutes for death positive cuties. Oh, good lord. Charlie, I was doing some reading. I know you hate when I try to give you dating advice, but hear me out. There's this dating site that's specifically for people working in the death industry. Okay, so maybe I'm a little worried for you. I haven't mentioned anybody new since the breakup of 2014 that we will never speak of again after this moment. Is this me? I think I was dating in 2014. But you're always saying how tired you get of people being scared to ask about your day, so maybe meeting somebody in the industry isn't the worst idea. Just promise me you'll consider it, okay? It's harder for me to make sure you're seeing sunlight when I'm all the way across the ocean. I know you look like a babe with pale skin and witchy gothy aesthetics and super hot right now, but vitamin D is still a good thing. Mom rant over. I'm going to try it out because turns out people get super scared off when you tell them you work in a museum filled with dead bodies. Do you know how not interesting other people find teratomas? Charlie, I didn't know we were this weird to outside people. I've been spoiled by having a best friend who is as much of a weirdo as I am. Miss you, let's grab a bottle of wine for our next Skype date. P.S. If you sign up for Dead Meat, isn't that the best name for a death industry death dating website? Tinder rules apply. You have to like me if you come across my profile or whatever. I'm not sure how it works just yet though. Oh, I get Tinder now? From Matthew. Forwarded. Paycheck coming late. I don't like the look of this, not one bit. I know you're only been with us for a few months, but maybe you're aware of the trouble Amy has been having. A small mom and pop shop like Rose and Daughters can't compete with the big guys. Anyway, don't tell Amy I sent this to you. Also, I'm starving, so I'm going to grab some fast food before taking a hearse through the car wash. 2 birds, 1 stone. And swinging back to the hole. Do you want anything? A beef and cheddar? I'm going to take the hearse through the drive-thru, of course. It freaks people out. I love it. They get so awkward. Let me know. I'm heading out in 15 minutes. Hey Matthew, this is embarrassing, but it seems I miscalculated some of our income and I don't have enough to pay you this week. Would it be terribly inconvenient if I cut you a check for next week instead? If you need the money urgently, please let me know. I feel terrible about this whole thing and I can cut you a check from my personal account if need be. I'm so sorry about this. I assure you it won't happen again. Oh no, Amy. From Funeral Monthly, LGBTQ funerals, respect. Ooh. If you've been a long-time subscriber to our emails or follows us on social media, you no doubt heard about the misgendering that transgender people are at times subjected to during their funerals. I swear if that happens to me on my funeral, I will come back as a very vengeful ghost. There have been notable situations where trans women have had their wishes overruled by their families and have had their hair cut, are buried under the wrong names and subjected to the wrong pronouns in their obituary announcements. We care about this because we believe in treating every person with the same level of compassion, respect and care. And this absolutely extends to pronouns and respecting the deceased wishes as per their life's lived experiences. The CDC's Funeral Director's Handbook on Death Registration and Fetal Death Reporting, oh that's a sad word to read, fetal death reporting, offers the fraud directive. Enter male or female based on observation. Do not abbreviate or use other symbols. If sex cannot be determined after verification with medical records, inspection of the body or other sources, enter unknown. Do not leave this item blank. Leaving it up to observation obviously enters into a world of issues since bodies can be so different, and because of ingrained bias, people can draw incorrect assumptions based on their own inaccurate observations. California has passed what is known as the Respect After Death Act, which states that the death certificate must reflect the deceased's gender identity as they lived it. So, a step in the right direction. People who are trans deserve the same respect in death that people who are cisgender receive. Misgendering in death takes away this respect. It can also inflict hurt and trauma on spouses and friends that survive the deceased. So what can we do as funeral directors? Listen to the people who come into your office. In America especially, some marriages may not be recognized as legal depending on the laws around same-sex marriage. But this doesn't mean you're not dealing with two people who have loved each other in the same way as another couple. Listen, learn, and always be respectful. While you have to work with the next of kin, your duty is also to ensure the deceased receives the utmost respect in their burial. Their burial, I can't talk. Burial. If a funeral is to honor the deceased, then do that. Honor them. Burial. Let's do this. Do this then. A woman who died from breast cancer. That's sad. She's already in her coffin. Oh, right, I'm gonna cremate her. Oh. Mrs. Hall will need to prepare her body. Mrs. Hall's family brought clothing and jewelry for her to wear. It's important to remove these before the cremation process as to not damage them. Hello, I would like to be buried. Oh no. Can you just imagine if someone walks up into your funeral office and just says that? Hello, I would like to be buried. Oh no, what have I started? uh, yeah, let's start removing some stuff. We need to be able to identify Mrs. Hall's remains after she's been cremated. Click and drag the round identification tag and place it in the coffin. Poof. Great, Mrs. Hall is set to be why would she be cremated with her clothes on? I mean, yeah, there's you know, I'm not advocating for seeing Mrs. Hall in the nude, but I feel like being cremated with clothes on is sort of redundant. Everything's gonna be ash in a second anyway. There she is. There's Mrs. Hall. Oh, that's her bones. This is the cremator. Contrary to popular belief, cremation doesn't turn bodies into ash so much as bone fragments. Oh, look at that. I've been mistaken. Not buried, but I did have a couple of people walk in and basically say, I want to talk about my funeral. Well, I know people will like book cemetery lots and buy their coffins like ahead of schedule to make sure that that they get like a good spot in the cemetery, because apparently that's important, and they get like a solid coffin, not like the coffins of your previous boss that fell apart. Using the cremator, break these bones fragments down into ash-like remains. Let's start by placing the urn in the ground. Oh, there we go. Click and drag the bog fragments, drop them in the top. Oh no, you have given me ultimate power over life and death. Oh. Bye, Mrs. Hall. This is a banana, this is not a bone. This is the banana phone. Oh, and the noise it makes, oh. Click and drag the urn back into, there. You want it into the urn? Or on the urn? In the urn. There we go. Is that the lid? Yeah. In the funeral industry, it is vital to have respect. Nikki weighing more pound. This is a banana. I will take the urn to the funeral parlor and present it along some flowers. While this game was described as a death-positive game, I'm sure being very positive, I feel like. How's it going? Glad she was cremated and not like in an open casket or something. Seeing her like that, I don't know if I could have. At least we all got to say goodbye. She would have liked that. Nah. Is that Amy? This is nice in a weird way. She liked that we were all here talking. She always tried to keep the family together. The food is delicious. I know that's weird, but these crab cakes are perfect. She's got her priorities straight at least. She would have hated this music. She never wanted her funeral to be sad. She would have wanted us smiling. She said so. Are you still humming to yourself, my dude? She fought really hard. She was proud of herself. She never gave up. Not once. No. I'm sorry about your loss. I actually am. These are fictional people, and yet I'm sad. Oh, it's Valentine's Day. That's not a good day for burials. I'm sorry, burials. Check your email, girl. From Amy Rose, news about the future of Rose and Daughter's funeral home. Hi all, it is with a very heavy heart that I write to let you all know that Rose and Daughters will no longer be in business. Oh no! I had no idea how to start this email, and resources I googled told me that would be the best and easiest way to break the ice. Be direct but remorseful, Google said. The truth is, I don't really know what to say, since my father passed away. Oh no. I've done my best to make Rose and Daughters warm and friendly to anyone who chose to use our services. It was my memorial to him, the original Rose, in a lot of ways, and you've all become like family, including you, Charlie, our most recent addition. But it's been getting harder to make ends meet. Rent is going up in the neighborhood. Fuck you, gentrification. And I'm finding less and less like I have the energy for this business. There's a lot of competition from other funeral homes, larger corporations that can take in more business and offer more impressive services. You know the way it goes. So we've been bought, or I sold. Either way, soon Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated, a company that owns many funeral homes in the city and across the country, will replace Rose and Daughters starting from the beginning of next month. Same building, same name. They're keeping the name Rose and Daughters Funeral Home for tax purposes. Though honestly, I'm trying hard not to just see it as a move on their part to keep up the image that it's a family-run business. I don't know how I feel about that, but I also don't know if there's anything I can do at this point either. I've signed the papers. At least my father's legacy is still intact somewhat. They have a good reputation and I've agreed to keep you all on. That was one of my stipulations. I would sell as long as you all weren't without a job. Sorry I didn't tell you in a more personal way. I would have loved to have a company lunch, but I didn't have the heart to tell you in person. This was easy for me, please understand. Aw, that's so sad. Charlie, I thought you'd like to see this thank you note. Hi Amy, I am so eternally grateful that you were able to accommodate our requests for my sister's funeral. It was a beautiful service and she would have been happy with it. That's such a weird thing to say, isn't it? Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. From Ryan Garcia. Hi Amy, I know this email might be a bit odd, but you said if I was ever having troubles, I should reach out and you would know somebody I could talk to about all of this. I don't know what to do now. I know my grandmother had lived a full good life and was very happy and that she's not in pain now, but I feel empty, Amy. I've never felt this empty before. What am I supposed to do now? I thought I was stronger than this. Can you refer me to someone to talk to? I don't want to freak out my mom right now. She's dealing with enough with work and the will and trying to just be the best mom she can. I just need somebody to tell me that it'll be okay. Thank you, and I'm sorry for being an inconvenience. Oh no! That's so sad. He sent it very early in the morning too. I thought I would forward this to you. In situations like this, we typically connect people like Ryan with a grief counselor or other professionals who can really help him. Sometimes we get emails like this when people don't know where else to turn. And it's difficult and family isn't always the most reliable for some people. Usually I would be happy to connect them, but I'm feeling a little tired today. Not my usual self, and it would be good for you to start building these kind of relationships on your own. You're a treasure, Charlie. Oh, don't do this to my heart, Amy. Oh, Charlie, I've been playing a new game when things are slow at work. It's called Tales from the Crypt Sweeper. Get it? Get it? It's like Minesweeper, but way harder. Like seriously, it's really, really difficult. And I thought my Minesweeper game was on point after working that overnight front desk job at the hotel for 3 years. But I must have gotten rusty. Anyways, instead of mines, you want to avoid graves, you don't disturb the adorable ghosts. The main character also kinda looks like you. When I start a healthy competition, high score gets to pick the restaurant we go to when one of us is in town next. I really cannot talk. Jen. Keep on protecting Earth with green burials. Ooh, neat. You lived your life mindful of the environment, doing your part to reduce pollution and generally help out where you can, so why not continue doing that even in death? At least that's the thinking for a lot of people who are turning to green or natural burials. Natural cemeteries are becoming more popular and are focused on a few rules. Mainly it's that bodies aren't allowed to be embalmed with chemicals that can damage the environment. And bodies must be buried in a biodegradable shroud or casket. Not only is this better for the environment, it's also cheaper. In Union Cemetery in Ontario, Canada, a natural burial is just over $1,000. That is a lot different from... Oh no, I've been given Minesweeper. So better for the people, the environment, just maybe not so good for big business. These are really neat though. I'm quite happy they're becoming more and more popular. The bio burials. Let's not forget, people, this is still a business after all. But really, why go green? Green burials help. I can't stop saying it now. Green burials help preserve natural resources, work to reduce carbon emissions, protect the health of those preparing bodies, and restore/preserve natural habitats. Embalming fluids tend to contain formaldehyde, and funeral directors report a higher incidence of leukemia. Oh. Going green and not using toxic chemicals for embalming helps protect funeral directors, while at the same time lessening the impact we have on the environment after we're gone. We here at Funerals Monthly think green burials are pretty cool. What do you think? Reply and let us know. There's no reply button on this. This is a okay, so hail from... Oh, that was a ghost. Oh. So this is really Minesweeper. Please see the note below about the pacemaker. They can be tricky. He asked if there were any special instructions we wanted to pass along. Just please cremate my father. He has a pacemaker too. The doctor told me that would need to be removed. Right. No pacemaker. Mr. Ace came directly from the hospital, so we don't have to worry about removing any valuables from him, as the family did not provide any for us to include. However, Mr. Ace has a pacemaker that we'll need to remove before cremation. Because pacemakers are batteries, they will explode inside the hot heat of the cremation machine, and we definitely don't want that. Let's start by removing Mr. Ace's pacemaker. Okay, but just so you know, I'm not a surgeon. You can see the pacemaker. Click on the remove pacemaker or cremation chamber goes kaboom. Indeed. Oh, there we go. Put the forceps away, place around. Like that. Time to go cremate. Smack the button. That's not smacking, but it'll do. So how many cremations did you do, Zibby? How many people did you chuck in the giant oven? Oh, look at that, it's banana again. Oh. Whee! Oh shit. What happens if I drop it? I'm kind of curious. I'm gonna... We're so sorry, but your father's bones have been chucked on the floor and swept up. Oh, okay. It's a bit like tabletop. It just comes back. That's a bit disappointing. Okay, let's we're gonna try for a 3-point dunk here. That was horrible. Mr. Ace, work with me. Hey, Mr. Ace worked with me. Once more. Can we do a hat trick? Oh, almost. Coming back at you with more information. If the body goes through an autopsy, they will remove the pacemaker. Hospitals sometimes do it, but not always, but in general. It will be a funeral director's job to remove it. Well, that makes sense. I mean, they probably would only do an autopsy if the cause of death was like... a mystery, right? Oh, right. Kaboom. I did around 100 funerals total. Can't really remember how many of them were cremations. Most of them for sure. I suppose that makes sense too. People do more cremations these days. I wonder if he ever liked me. He was nice to me, but I don't know. He never seemed like he really cared if I was there or not. Oh no, no. Honey, I'm sure he loved you. Did you ever end up cleaning the air with your father? No, we talked a few times, but no, not really. He sounded like a difficult man. He was stubborn. That's just it. Stubborn. That's my grandpa. What do you want to do after this? It was pretty nice out. Let's change and go find a patio somewhere. Sounds good. I could use really use a beer right now. Hey, did I ever tell you to take me tailgated? Oh. I always told him to quit smoking, but of course he never listened to me, so that figures. Did he die of cancer? Why are you washing yourself with gloves on? That's just odd. Yay, ding ding. Hi Amy, I just want to thank you for the service the other month and apologize if I was abrupt. It was kind of a shock for me and I didn't feel comfortable with the whole process. He wasn't supposed to die yet. It hasn't been easy. I'm sorry, Mariana. And then we got like, you get like heart-wrenching, and then you see like mushrooms. You hate mushrooms so much, I found the perfect thing for you. I've been thinking about that. I know, shocker, look what you've done to me. I think I want this mushroom suit. No, it's not called that, but I can't remember the name of it. And I'm writing you on my phone, so I don't feel like googling it right now. Anyways, the idea is that it's a biodegradable suit that the deceased wears. It's made with what people call a biomix, i.e. mushrooms and other microorganisms that help to decompose bodies, neutralize toxins in the body, and provide nutrients for the soil for plants. I think this one company even offer casket liners for using green caskets. I think this is what I want. It'll just be like Hannibal. Wait, don't tell people I said that, okay? But seriously, it's pretty cool. I love all the death innovation happening. We might as well do something when we're in the ground, you know? Love you, think about it, and let me know your thoughts. I want all your thoughts. If it's not this, then maybe I'll have my ashes made into jewelry. But seriously, I'm probably going to do this. There's no harm in planning ahead, am I right? And then I get like, things to avoid saying at a funeral. Welcome back. Now, we rarely do listicles here, but for this month's newsletter, we thought a listicle would be the best way to deliver this month's advice. What not to say at a funeral. We know figuring out the right thing to say to a grieving friend can be extremely difficult, and since that's such a personal issue, it's hard to give specific advice. Some things will be more comforting to other people, but fortunately, we can deliver a little bit of more solid advice on what not to say to someone who is grieving. So here it is, Funerals Monthly's top 5 things to not say at a funeral. Number 1. At least they're not longer suffering. Even if this is true, nobody wants to hear this, / it's probably not your place to dictate. Who wants to be told that the death of somebody they love is for the best? Like I said, even if it's true, don't be that jerk and just don't say it. Number 2, were they saved? No religious statement, just don't. Why? Because not everyone agrees with your religious views, and not only is it not always comforting, it can also be insulting. 3, they're with the angels now. See above's note, then rinse, repeat. 4, let me know how I can help. This one is tricky. You want to help, but those in mourning won't always ask for help. If you want to help, suggest specific things. For example, I'm free if you need someone to babysit the kids. Actions are better than passive statements. Cook something for them. Take them to their favorite restaurant or buy tickets to see a movie together. Number 5. I know how you feel. Even if you think you do, everyone grieves differently. Don't focus this on yourself. Empathy doesn't involve having to commiserate. Sometimes people will want to hear your experiences, but don't assume they will. Ask first. How can I be able to say the word commiserate that I've never actually said in my life, but I cannot say burial? For a quicker version of this list can be applied in any situation. Don't say stuff just for the sake of saying stuff. Just say I'm sorry if you don't know what else to say. Oh fuck, our son from Manuel Scott. Good day, Miss Rose. Disregard the son's will as it concerns matters of his burial. He was clearly not thinking right, and I didn't know what he really wanted. Proceed with an open casket funeral. As for payment, we'll bring a check. Charlie, I was hoping you wouldn't have to confront this situation, yet anyways, they're never easy. Rose and Daughters has been asked to prepare the body of a young man who took his own life. He had a will prepared and asked for cremation, but the family has demanded a traditional burial instead. I only now just realized that it's a letter of helping a friend through a funeral. Here I was sitting thinking, it's pretty weird to tell a family member that you'll look after their kids as funeral director. Can you imagine how you've hired this company to take care of like your I don't know, spouse's funeral, and then all of a sudden the director comes up and is like, can I babysit your kids sometime? you'll be greeted with a you'll be greeted with like a restraining order. Anyway, unfortunately, he didn't make anyone his power of attorney or didn't have any witnesses sign his loving will or his advance directive regarding these wishes, so his family is legally in the right to do whatever they want with his body. It's unfortunate, but we have to do as the family wishes. I'd be greeted with we'll go somewhere else. Matthew has graciously offered to take this on if you are uncomfortable with the subject. Instead, we have a second body you can prepare for a funeral we're hosting later in this afternoon. Charlie, is this suicide something you're comfortable dealing with? Let me know, I'm here if you need me. I mean, the suicide part, I'm not, you know, it's not an issue, but I would like to cremate him. Since that was his will. I know I can't because his dad's an asshat, but I suppose I will. Alright, I'll do it. I'm gonna feel real sad about it, but I'll do it. Aw, ask for an open casket funeral. Scrub a scrub. Where's the... there. Why do I not have any, like, shaving cream? I mean, I know he doesn't feel it when I, like, shave him, but it's gotta leave, like, itches, right? Where's the glue? There's the glue. Moisturize me. Hello. Come on. Where? There. And time to tube it up. That's not a canola. Alistair Bain say nothing about my pronunciation of the canola. Come on. Pump yourself full of this. Apparently, why is the fluid red? I mean, I always thought like depends on the state. If it's relatively soon after death, it should be okay. If it's longer, it's not nice, as in skin comes off with the shaving. That is. That makes sense. But why is the stuff pink? I thought like formaldehyde was, or like embalming fluid was like clear. Have I seriously like misconstrued something? I know nothing about this about this specific industry, so who's the dad that I need to punch? I still can't believe he did it. I feel like I should have known, you know, been able to do something to stop it. There was no way to know. You can't blame yourself. We wouldn't have wanted that. I know, it hurts. Yeah, I know. It does. I wish we were closer. Wow, I still can't believe this is real. My baby brother. I should have played more games with him when he asked. It's really never easy when someone commits suicide, is it? I heard it wasn't going to be an open casket. I'm surprised at public. Usually funerals for these circumstances are more private. Well, you can thank the father for the open casket. Again, I don't know how long this game is or like when it ends. It ends when it ends. From who are you? Oh, this is by my new boss. We are pleased to bring on Rose and Daughters as part of the Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated. They will be another institution amongst hundreds of other properties owned across the country. Oh my god, Chad, yes, from Chad Grant, the worst rich man name ever. But of course, as part of the adjustment process to the Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated culture, there will be a number of changes that will come to Rose and Daughters. We will send out a memo regarding the specifics and details of these changes, and we expect them to be followed impeccably. Glad to be the leading the way for Rose and Daughters from now on. Because of course, that's the name of a CEO of a megacorp, indeed. What the hell? Can I just say, first of all, that this is bullcrap. Ugh. Knowing how these corporations run, I wouldn't be surprised if they're monitoring their emails now. No, okay, I don't really believe that. I'm just upset. I get that Amy didn't have much of a choice. You can only fight a huge corporation taking all of your business for so long. This isn't 6 feet under. And they just swooped in, and now we have to deal with their BS practices. They're colder than the corpse I picked up from the morgue this morning. Who charges this much for funerals? It feels dirty and exploitive. How much are we charging? Because I know the last pack was like... the most expensive one was like 7 grand or something. As for a quote, payment plans. Oh no. Let's grab a drink after work and hit the blow some steam, and emails aren't really the most appropriate place to do this. Too late for me, I guess. P.S. If you're reading this, Hillside Overlord, good. Hillside Overlord. I like Matthew. He makes some really rambling emails, but I appreciate him. From Jen. You are invited to attend a death cafe. Can't really write much right now. I have a lot of work I have to do with an inguinal hernia from 1750. It's the oldest in our collection, and you can even see this bit of paper the surgeon put in after removing the hernia. Super cool. I'll send you the link when we have the catalog. What is my life? What is the sentence I just typed? But anyway, this event that I'm forwarding you is taking place near you. Figured you'd be into it. Might help with that feeling of restlessness you were talking about before. I was talking about restlessness? Could be good to talk about some of the things you're feeling. Lots of death-positive people there. Sounds like a safe place. Come increase awareness of death with a view to helping people make the most of their finite lives. Join us, have a tea and cake, and talk with others about your thoughts, fears, and illuminations of death. The founder of the Death Cafe movement, John Underwood, of course his name is Underwood, once said, when people talk about death and dying, it tends to illustrate their humanity. See everyone at the Upside Down jar next Thursday. Sounds neat. Charlotte. Well, my name is Charlie. Below are the details for our next client. Ensure you follow the requested specifications exactly. After you are done, I will review your work in order to properly evaluate you at the end of the month. This is cold. Thank you, Mr. Grant, for agreeing to take care of Jocelyn's cremation. The bike accident was, well, it was more than I was expecting. I know she wanted to be cremated, and to be honest, I don't think I could dare seeing her like that after what happened. Thank you, Leah. I'm sorry, Leah. I'll get right to it. Wow, she looks very dead. Miss Ionesco's body. Yep, pill time. Bottoms up. Poop. Burn, baby, burn. I feel like I should, play some music in this. Like Disco Inferno or something. Right. Be respectful of the deceased. He said and chucked all the boats. Ta-da! That is an ugly urn. I mean, at least, you know, get something fancy up in this place. I thought you were going to say be respectful of the banana for a moment there. She was always so careful, wore her helmet, signaled, used the bike lanes. Asshole drivers, they need to pay attention. Have you heard what's happening to the driver? No, I haven't wanted to ask. Leah, this has been hard enough on them without asking them about the legal ramifications of all of this. Yeah, after all this, let's see what we can do to help them. Shouldn't deal with the death of their partner all by themselves. Oh, so this was her girlfriend. Oh, well, sorry, their girlfriend. Should we do a vigil at the spot? Careless drivers, I swear to God. So this was a hit and run, huh? I'm glad I'm here, but wow, I just need a glass of wine and to binge watch something right now. Mood. I have to go through all of our things. How am I supposed to decide what to keep? If I need help, I can help. No, thanks. I mean, but no, I don't know. It's so intimate. It feels like I should do it myself. She would kill me if others saw the things we have. Ah, yeah, she was kind of a closed book, except to you. Yeah, she was special. Aww. So glad it was a cremation. I would have lost it, seeing her body. Aww. Yeah, I'm so definitely getting cremated. I should also probably get myself like one of those organ donor cards, but I've always been very like on the fence about that. Because on one hand, yeah, it'll save a lot of lives, and I'll never, you know, miss the organs because I'll be dead. But at the same time, it's like something about someone carving up my body after death. Bleh. Matthew Jeffrey. Hello. As stated in the previous email, here are the new rules and code of conduct I expect you to follow from now on while on any premises belonging to Hillside Heritage Enterprises, yada yada yada. First and foremost, there is a required uniform and strict dress code from now on. Second most importantly to this is that no tattoos are to be visible. If you have visible tattoos, ensure they are properly covered and hidden. I literally work in like inside the back of I'm a mortician. When speaking with customers and clients, consider the opportunity to upsell. I always encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase the higher quality package. We find it encouraging loved ones to think of the comfort and style of the deceased as an experience with no price limit on it. I hate you, Chad. Additionally, food is no longer allowed to be brought in. Instead, encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase our premium sandwich and appetizers food package. Our partner catering concepts provide high quality food that will be delivered weekly from their factory, can easily be defrosted the morning of the funeral. I really hate Chad. I expect all of the above changes to be instituted effective immediately to ensure a smooth transition into the high quality service Hillside Heritage Enterprises yada yada is known for. Charlie, I need a drink. Beer after work. P.S. Also, I really want mozzarella sticks. I can be both hungry and angry. And no, I will not say hangry ever. Green burial. Let's see. You're probably against it. I have reviewed your request on behalf of a potential family inquiring if we at Hillside Yada can and will perform green burials. I should have informed you of this in the beginning, but we do not perform green funerals as they are not cost effective. Ha! Called it. All employees and subsidiaries of Hillside Heritage Yada must comply. We do not wish to lose potential customers though, so do try your hardest to convince the families requesting green burials to instead choose a traditional burial package, complete with embalming caskets and vaults instead. I trust you will ensure we do not lose any customers, Charlotte. My name is Charlie, and I will so tell them to, you know, go use someone else. I just saw a video of a gorilla walking on hind legs. Like a human being, Charlie. A human being. We as a species have seen the beginning of our end. We have indeed. Why do it? Home funerals. The appeal of a home funeral is apparent for many, especially if the deceased was somebody very close to you. The idea of keeping them at home until they are ready to be buried or cremated can be comforting. It wasn't that long ago that we were taking care of our own deceased. Nothing like telling people what to do or what they want in a time like this, Chad. It's like, yes, we want the eco-friendly package so that we don't trample the environment. Okay, cool. We don't provide that, but why not try like toxic embalming? It wasn't that long ago that we were taking care of our own deceased, but nowadays people are quick to pass off their loved ones to a funeral home. Most families aren't given the option and assume this is mandatory. Funeral homes would almost always prepare the deceased using embalming and other methods to make them appear more alive, but isn't this process counterintuitive to the grieving process? Being around the deceased allows the bereaved to spend a longer period of time with their loved one's body, which can help them mourn. Or give opportunities to family members and friends to see the deceased one last time before they are taken to be buried or cremated. The idea of keeping the deceased's body at home might sound gross, but it's important to understand that decomposition takes a long time, and you can further slow this process by keeping your home cool and dry. To be around your loved ones and to see them decay naturally is an important part of the grieving process. Home funerals aren't just more intimate, but they are economical. A traditional funeral, complete with body preparation, service, flowers, cards, and many other hidden costs and fees, can cost upwards of $7,000 to $10,000. When you are able to take care of your loved one yourself, to wash and dress them, and to organize their viewing from home, the only cost remaining is entirely in the cremation or burial itself. However, it's important to understand that different rules apply given on what state you live in. In all states, it is legal to have your loved one's body at home after they die. States like Alabama, Connecticut, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, Nebraska, New Jersey, and New York require a funeral director's involvement, from signing the death certificate to overseeing burial or cremation. If this is a route you decide to go for yourself or your loved ones, make sure you follow everything by the book, but just know that this may be an option available to you and your loved ones if so choose. I am proud to announce that Hillside Heritage received a contract with the city to dispose of any unclaimed bodies. This is devastating. This is an important revenue stream for us, as I'm sure I don't need to explain to you, Charlotte. Although Hillside Heritage is being paid a decent wage from the city for these services, cremation is preferred here as it is the most cost efficient of the two options. The first unclaimed body we will be handling belongs to a middle-aged man, possibly homeless, whose body is yet to be claimed. No special preparations are needed for this cadaver aside from cremation. You called him a cadaver. He's a person. This gentleman. He doesn't seem to have any valuables on him that would be damaged during cremation, so let's just worry about putting his identification tag into the coffin with him. Poor John Doe. I hate Chad so much. More and more. Every single second I just hate him a little bit more. You know, as a respect for this dead gentleman, we are actually going to treat his bodies with a lot more care than we have so far. Poor man. And he gets like a boring urn as well. Oh no! That's so sad, there's no one here. I'm so sorry, dude. Poor man. She's just wandering around cleaning. What happened to Amy Rose, though? From Chad. Hello all. We are thrilled to announce that Hillside's subsidiary Rose and Daughters just signed a contract with Morning Valley Hospital, allowing us access to all the cadavers that come through their pediatric and maternity wards. Oh no. We're excited for the opportunity to work with Morning Valley Hospital, which intakes over 100,000 patients and receives over 15 million in funding and donations annually. This will no doubt be a boon for Hillside Heritage's bright and sustained future. No, we're getting babies and and recently deceased mothers. I'm done. Charlie is official. I put in my 2 weeks notice. You know how unhappy I am working for Mega Corporation 101. My skills, especially my driving ones, are useful in other professions. I'm not worried about myself. But you, I am worried about. Oh no, Matthew's leaving me. You're too good for this corporate scum. You actually care about the people you work with and for. Don't let them defeat you, okay? P.S. I'll bring beers over next week. We can talk a bit more freely. From Jen. Dating a special effects makeup artist, and she is like the coolest person I've ever met in my life. She totally loves Ava's possession. What? And was equally freaked out by the possession scenes, but so utterly delighted at the idea of a support group for people who have been possessed. That was your best recommendation in a while, Charlie. You were slipping there. I was getting worried you had lost your taste. But yeah, her name is Lily, and she's super death positive and isn't freaked out by my work, and also isn't too into it, like that last dude I saw. Jason? Michael? Gah, I can't remember. I just really like spending time around her. I can talk about whatever I want, and it's never a conversation stopper. She also totally gets what I mean when I say that, like, working with death and spending so much time thinking about death actually makes me happier. It makes everything else feel so much more worth it, you know? Memento mori, or whatever they taught us in that one poetry class we took. Are you sure you don't mean memento mori? We just clicked. Feels good, fun and affirming, like dating should be. I'm thinking of taking her to Maple Meadows. She's super into roller coasters, and I think the idea of sharing cotton candy, or maybe not, I don't want to throw up on the rides, is sickeningly cute. Then maybe I'll kiss her on top of a Ferris wheel. It'll be super corny and cliche for once in my life. Anywho, enough about me for now. I'm still kind of in shock from your last email. Do you think you're going to do it? You know you have my support 100% no matter what you decide. Does this mean I'm going postal? Oh, cool! I'm registering a business! Oh, I'm going to be a funeral person. From Funerals Monthly. Water everywhere, and not a drop to drink. Water cremation. Water cremation! That sounds cool. We can call it a few different things, like flameless cremation, a bit of an oxymoron, but we'll let it slide. Or perhaps more commonly, resomation. Its technical name, though, is actually alkaline hydrolysis. Whatever we want to call it, it's here and it's an environmentally friendly alternative to traditional cremation. But for the sake of this newsletter, let's call it water cremation. We all know that traditional cremation and burials take a huge toll on the environment, the high energy consumption that adds to the greenhouse gas effect being one of the chief amongst them. And water cremation is an alternative method available for the eco-conscious amongst. How does it work? It's basically a water-based chemical process that uses really strong alkali in water heated up very high, about 350 degrees Fahrenheit. It basically works like a sped-up version of a natural decomposition. The excess water gets put through the same water treatment process as any sewage water at a factory, and alkaline hydrolysis uses significantly less energy than traditional cremation processes. Neat, huh? It's been around for a bit, and in some places became legal around the end of the first decade of the aughts. Not a bad alternative for those who don't want their death to have any greater impact on the environment than necessary. I did read once that you can become like a record, like a music record after death, and also you can become like a plant, which I think is very neat. Charlotte, I see you're not able to convince the Dimka family to take a standard funeral. I had to contact them myself in order to not lose this sale. Please read the enclosed emails for a lesson on how to properly upsell potential customers. I don't want to see that we've lost any customers because of your refusal to upsell. That is part of your job. No, it isn't. Dear Mr. Grant, regarding the last time we spoke, my daughters and I would still prefer to host a home funeral ourselves and keep my wife here until she's ready to be buried. I just want to make sure she's taken care of. Her heart attack was so sudden. We don't know what to do. We just want to make sure she has a proper send-off. Thanks, Kofi Dimka. Dear Mr. Dimka, I understand your desire to keep your wife at home, but I assure you the best way to honor your wife is through a traditional funeral package instead. I promise you, your wife's funeral with us will be a beautiful, intimate gathering where all of her beloved friends and family can come together and say their goodbyes. A standard embalming will allow for everyone to view you. I can't talk. View your wife, ensuring that everyone can see her one final time as she was, beautiful, peaceful, and courageous. Letting us take care of the food with our prepared food service will ensure you don't have a single thing to worry about on this day. You and your daughters are going through a hard time right now. Let us here at Rose and Daughters make this difficult time a little easier for you. Okay, we'll take this traditional funeral package. Thank you for considering us in this hard time. Fuck you. Pretty sure Chad is a robot. He has no feelings. He has no feelings whatsoever. All he cares about is money, and it's... I'm so sorry about this, lady. You deserve the home funeral. I'm gonna moisturize the towel, apparently. Oh, these noises are so... Oh. Oh. But yeah, is embalming fluid normally pink? To make them look like they're like resting? Isn't it like supposed to be blank? Is it just to able to see it? I don't know. Apparently, once you sew it up, it becomes invisible. No scarring here. Stab her in the gut. I don't know who Mike is, but are you sure he hasn't quit dinner? See, I'm starving. Why do these things always make me so hungry? You're always hungry. I just meet me at a funeral. It's so cold in there. I think they have their air conditioning on too high. Yeah, let's go for a walk later. It's real nice out. Would be good to stretch my legs. As far as I'm aware, they're either pink or purple, which gives her body a pinkish or reddish color. Yeah, that makes sense. They feel so impersonal. She would have hated this. Yeah, but I don't know. They must have had their reasons. Oh hey, what did you think of that trailer I sent you? Oh yeah, I've heard that show is so good. I saw that video of the one kid actor doing karaoke. Do you think we did the right thing? I feel so bad not doing what Mom asked for. I know, honey, but what that chat guy said seemed right. We don't want to dishonor her memory by letting her rot. Yeah, I just want Mom to know I loved her. Wish I hadn't yelled at her before. Shh, it's okay. She knew you loved her. Fights happen. Please don't be hard on yourself. Yeah, I'm going to miss her. Me too. That chat guy. Fuck that chat guy. This is what happens when you don't have feelings, Chad. Did I go through with it? Did I give myself my own... I did! I got my own little funeral office. Fuck Chad. From Amy Rose. Charlie dear, I'm so proud of you. I knew there was something special in you when I hired you for Rose and Daughters. If there is anything I can do for you, please do not hesitate to ask. I'm always happy to help. Amy Rose. P.S. I sorely miss you and Matthew's terrible sense of humor. You'll never believe what new job I am working now. Open this email to find out. Hey Charlie, when I first became a hearse driver, I was told my most important job wasn't steering. It was sympathizing. I respectfully disagree. And thankfully, I concentrated on my driving skills, since I'm now working as a, wait for it, bus driver. A school bus driver, Charlie. Can you believe that? Pretty sure if I said the most important part of my job now wasn't steering, I'd be fired immediately. I didn't know how else to tell you. For some reason I was worried you'd think less of me, but I don't know why. You've never been a judgmental kind. And besides, corpses are way easier to deal with than children. Screaming children, might I add. I actually love it. These kids can be pretty cute. But don't tell Amy that I told you that. She was always harping on me for not having any kids and for being all cynical about them. Congrats on your new business, Charlie. I'm proud of you. I'll swing by your new place one day and show you my new wheels. Maybe we can grab a bite to eat. Be seeing ya, Matthew J. This is... Oh, we're doing super cheap funeral. Home funerals, $1,000, all inclusive. Green burial and service, $22.50 for adults. Direct cremations, $600. Infants are buried at no charge. We can provide a 3x3 plot and help opening and closing the grave. Aww. And we got a natural burial park. Ooh, this is fancy. Congratulations on your new bassness. My new bassness. I really can't talk today. Charlie, I'm so happy for you. I know it's been a rough year for you. Seriously, I think our wine intake saw a bazillion% increase. But you stuck through it all like a champ. You deserve this. Finally being your own boss is a great move for you. No more having to explain anything you don't want to. I'm trying not to be too cheesy right now. Can't wait to be home next week for our visit and to check out your new space. Always Jen. P.S. Have you heard about these green burial pods? When I find the link in my 1 million open tabs, I'll shoot it over to you. Eileen Hansen. Dear Charlie, today's the day already, isn't it? I can't believe how quickly this has come up. Thank you for your understanding and for your work. You made today easy already. See you at 1 p.m. Best, Eileen Hansen. See you soon. So I don't take care of... Oh. So I don't cremate or anything anymore, yeah? Hello. This hurts. I thought it'd be easier, but it's not. It hurts so much. But thank you for helping me give her the funeral she always wanted. Anyway, I think we're ready to get started now. And that was the game. Melissa and Fred and Kermit. That was a really sweet ending to that game. Oh my god, they put their pets in this. Emil Engelman. Engelman literally just means angel man. That's adorable. Thank you for playing. You're welcome. That was a really sweet game. I enjoyed that quite a bit. That was a really sweet game. Fuck chat. And fuck my pronunciations of things. Well, thank you so much for watching it. I think I'll just stick with that, because that ended on such a good note that I don't really want to continue with anything for like 40 minutes. So I'm just gonna do this tonight and call it, and I'll see you for more fun stuff next Saturday. So yeah, thank you so much, and good night.